Welcome to this session on understanding assessment. I am Kirti Kapoor, Professor of English from NCERT. Today we are going to discuss about assessment. What is assessment and what all does it include? What are the points that should be emphasized in the context of language learning? We will also look at the present process of assessment and examine whether it fulfills the objectives of assessment or not. So, these are some of the aspects that we are going to discuss today. We are doing assessment of our children. We need to examine whether it is fulfilling the purpose or not, or are we doing it without any feedback, because assessment should be part of the teaching learning process. If it is not part of the teaching learning process, then it will not tell us about the learning gaps of the students, and as teachers we will not be able to help them learn better. Now, we will consider some alternative ways of assessment that do not induce disinterest in the child towards learning. Assessment, as we have seen at present, scares the child. Children are very scared of the word test, exam. This should not be there. Assessment should become part of the teaching learning process. Children should not become disinterested in learning. The process of assessment should encourage development of self-confidence and capabilities in the child. Children should not be afraid of any kind of assessment. They should be confident about their learning, and at the same time we should enhance their skills, capabilities, abilities and learning. Assessment helps both children and the teacher. Yes, assessment is not only for the child, assessment is for the teacher also. It is not that we are assessing the teacher, because assessment will help the teacher find out the learning gaps of the students. Thereafter, he or she will design activities to cover these gaps and create learning situations for the students to learn better. We will also look at the kind of activities and questions that have the potential for constructive assessment. So, in this presentation today we will look at all these aspects. Now, when we are doing this, we will understand the outcome of the present assessment process, yes, whether it is yielding the desired results or not, or we are simply doing it and children are getting scared, they are not learning. Actually, assessment should be such that it should enhance learning also. We will also understand why assessment is needed, why assessment is an important aspect of teaching learning process. We will also analyze different ways of assessing language abilities, because abilities here means different skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing. So, we must understand what are the aspects that we need to assess when we are dealing with language assessment. Here is an example I am going to share with you. This is an example of class 3. The teacher has asked the students to copy 5 sentences on a cow in their notebooks. The sentences are: cow is our mother, cow has 4 legs, cow eats grass, cow gives milk, cow dung is used for dunking. So, these 5 sentences she has written on the blackboard, and now she asks the students to note down these in her notebook. Then she tells the students to memorize these 5 sentences, because this is what she is going to ask in the test. And she also tells the students that each sentence carries 1 mark. So, children start memorizing the sentences. This is certainly not language learning, because by memorizing 5 sentences, children will not learn the language. They should be able to use language in their context. They should be able to bring examples from their context. So, as per the direction of the teacher, the whole class started memorizing the sentences. So, in the test, most children wrote the sentences that were given by the teacher, which they had memorized. One child also wrote 5 sentences, but her sentences were different from what the teacher had given. Now, let us look what happens next. The child has written, cow is our mother, cow has 4 legs. We have many cows in the house. The milk of cow brings us money. Jitu's cow has a calf. So, how beautiful it is. This child has brought in her context into the classroom. She has not blindly memorized the sentences given by her teacher. Now, let us look at the teacher's response. Most children get 5 out of 5 because they had memorized the sentences and they had written the sentences which were given by the teacher. There were no errors in the sentences because children had memorized the sentences and they had written those sentences. But this particular child got only 2 marks. Why? Because she had written only 2 sentences given by the teacher. Rest of the sentences she had given examples from her own context. Now, what do you say? Which is better? Blindly memorizing the sentences or connecting learning to the real life situation? I think connecting learning to the real life situation is the true learning, because in life we are going to use language in real life situation only. So, this kind of assessment leads to tension and insecurity, worry, feeling of being insulted in the classroom. Children are afraid. You see, if I am not able to write the same sentence, I will lose 1 mark. So, they are insecure, there is tension, there is anxiety, and they are afraid the teacher might scold them, they will feel hurt. Memorizing the textbook material and verbalizing cannot actually assess language ability. This is not real assessment of learning language. Assessment must have scope for imagination and creativity of the child. You see, we use language to think, to imagine, to create, and then to be able to express ourselves. You see, the teacher could have given the students to write 5 sentences on a tree, okay, on the situation around their locality. So, they can write the sentences on their own. This brings in creativity in the classroom. Now, this only leads to fear and anxiety in children if we force the children to memorize. This will make the children afraid of test, because no one can really remember all the things. We have to internalize, we have to connect our learning to the real life situation, then only it becomes part of our learning process, and then children are afraid of tests. This kind of assessment gives the impression that it is something entirely different from teaching learning process. So, they look at assessment, exams, test as something separate, and they look at teaching learning process as something separate, whereas teaching learning process and assessment, they go hand in hand. The teacher must assess whether children have learned what she has taught or not. If they have not learned, then she has to design some other activity. So, teaching learning and assessment, they go hand in hand. Now, I come back to the present day process. The questionnaire paper is formulated somewhere else and the person teaching is someone else. So, there is a disconnect here, because the person who is designing the paper does not know the learning level of the students. Okay, we go by the learning outcomes. We go by this assumption that by the end of this time period, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, the children have learned this much. But our children are learning at different levels. They are not learning at the same level, because each child has a different capacity to learn. So, only a teacher knows that. Therefore, there is a gap between question paper and the classroom processes. So, what is happening in the classroom is not reflected in the question paper. The person who makes the paper does not understand children, their background, what they have learned, what they have done. So, therefore, there is fear and anxiety among learners, and we have to do away with this. Therefore, it is important for us to make assessment part of the teaching learning process. Assessment is a tool that is useful for both teacher and children. On one hand, assessment helps us understand what an individual child can do, keeping in mind her capability, age, need and speed of learning. Please look at this slide very carefully. Assessment is a tool that is useful for both teachers and children. Okay? Teacher tries to understand individual children and assesses their learning levels, and accordingly she gives them the learning situations. She creates learning situations for them or gives them the activity to do. And on the other hand, it helps the teacher to understand what kind of work she needs to do with the child. So, assessment is for both the teacher as well as for the child. Assessment should not be done merely for awarding marks to the children, because marks do not tell anything. Even grades do not tell anything. Suppose a child gets 2 marks out of 5. What does this 2 marks tell the child? What improvement does she need to make? Where has she gone wrong? What does she need to learn more? So, therefore, marks do not tell us much about the learning of the child. It is not important to decide who has got how many marks. Assessment should never aim to rank and place children in hierarchy of achievement, starting with the most capable to the weakest. Unfortunately, this is what is normally being done. We are always, putting the children in hierarchy. One child might be good in language, another might be good in mathematics, another might be good in art and drawing. So, each child has some capability or the other, and we have to hone that capability and we need to nurture that capability so that all children learn at the same level. The main objective of assessment is to help teacher find gaps in her teaching and decide on her next step in the class. This is what I have been telling you right from the beginning, that the moment you assess your learners, you do not assess your learners to just give them marks, because marks will not guide the learners how to learn. But only thing is, when you look at the assessment, when you assess the learners, you find out the gaps. Okay, my children are not able to write complete sentences. Okay, my children are not able to read with comprehension. So, you have identified certain situations, certain gaps, and now your next step is how to give such activities that will help learners improve this aspect. Assessment should make a child understand and talk about the changes that she sees in herself from where she was and recognize her progress. Now, this particular point is very, very important. Why? Because here the assessment is for the child also. This is known as assessment as learning. The first point was assessment for learning, where the teacher is trying to create learning situations for the child so that they learn better. That is formation of learning. Now, when the child herself becomes involved in her learning, then that means assessment as learning is happening, and assessment as learning is the most important aspect of assessment. When the child learns, when the child understands, okay, I could not do this, I could not write 5 sentences on a tree, but now when that I have looked at the tree, I can write 5 sentences on a tree. For example, she now feels that I can write tree has many parts, it has leaves, it has a trunk, it has branches, it gives us flowers and fruits. Now the child feels confident. Yes, I can look at the tree and I can write 5 sentences without memorizing. So, therefore, assessment as learning starts taking place, and this has to be inculcated by the teacher among learners. Now, assessment should be able to tell the teacher and the parents about the needs of the children and the steps they should take to improve the proficiency level of the children. Now, assessment is not only for the child, teacher is involved, student is involved, and also parents' role is important. So, when you have done assessment of learning, it is the time that you inform the parents, okay, at present your child is at this level. Maybe if you encourage the child to read different types of stories or different types of books, maybe the child will be able to do better and the proficiency level of the children will increase. So, this is assessment of learning when you tell the parents also. So, all the three things, assessment for learning, assessment as learning and assessment of learning, happen simultaneously, or assessment of learning happens at a later stage where you inform the parents also. So, therefore, teachers, students, parents all have an important role to play in the assessment process that goes on along with the teaching learning process. Now, assessment presently is normally used for passing and failing children or to emphasize the number of marks they have obtained. I think now you agree with me or you understand the importance of assessment for learning, assessment as learning, and assessment is not only for passing and failing, because it does not guide the child how to improve further. But its scope is not limited. Assessment scope is very wide. In the process of assessment, more than measuring the level of achievement of the child, the effort is to understand how to make teaching learning process more effective. So, therefore, when you are designing a lesson, when you are planning your lesson, you have to inbuilt assessment processes in that. So, teaching learning process and assessment go hand in hand. Now, for example, when a language teacher does assessment, she wants to see how much can a child read? Yes, I am taking the example of the reading. How well does she read? Yes. How much means, can she read only sentences, can she read only words, can she read paragraph only, small paragraph, can she read full story? So, how much can a child read? How well does she read? When she reads, is she reading mechanically or she reads with comprehension? Okay. Can she read fluently or with hesitant breaks? So, these are some of the questions I have put here. You can add more questions to this as per the needs of your students. Okay. Now, how much does she comprehend when she listens to? Now, this is about listening. When you are talking to the child in English or in the language, in her second language which is not her mother tongue or her mother tongue also, in any given situation, how much can she comprehend? Or she gives a blank look, that means she is not understanding. That means she needs more listening. She needs to be exposed to more listening situations. How confidently can she express herself? Now, this is about speaking. After reading, can she talk about the story or the words that she has read? After listening to you or after listening to others, can she talk about what she has listened? Can she answer a few basic questions? Can she express her thoughts in writing? So, this is about writing. So, writing is not mechanical copying down sentences or words from the blackboard. It is about being able to express yourself on your own. It comes with practice. What is the level of her vocabulary and control on sentence structure? So, how much word does she know? Therefore, if you have assessed that she does not know many words in English or in her second language, she needs to be exposed to more vocabulary in context, not as isolated words. Either you can introduce vocabulary with the help of pictures or with the help of stories or with the help of actions, etc., etc., and control on sentence structure. Now, sentence structure here refers to grammar. So, can my children write sentences, small sentences, can they write a paragraph. So, at what level are they learning? So, you assess the level of the learners and accordingly you design your activities. Now, assessment helps us understand the speed and direction of learning in detail. Okay? Now, suppose my learners have not picked up the previous lesson. I cannot finish my syllabus, I cannot move on to the next chapter without really making sure that my children have learnt what I had planned to teach in the previous class. So, because learning is spiral, suppose I am teaching a story about plants and birds and I have shown them the pictures of some plants, some birds, some fruits, etc., and have given them words, vocabulary. But I realize that when I am reading the story, they are not able to connect with that. That means I have to go back to the vocabulary segment once again, show them the pictures, show them realia, real objects, or talk about it, explain the thing, take them out, show them the real objects, and then probably I move on to the next segment. For example, now there is another example. If a child is not able to read, find out what is the reason for it. So, do not force, first you have to find out, is she weak in recognizing some letters or she has not developed capability to read words and sentences as meaningful units. So, this is your first step. Now, this I am talking about primary section, okay, early classes. So, suppose you are trying to help the child to read, but the child is unable to recognize the letters. So, you cannot make the child read words or sentences. First, she has to recognize the letters, then she will be able to read the words and then to sentences. So, you have to go in a meaningful direction. So, therefore, the speed and direction of learning is important. How much can you give? How will you teach? All of that needs to be taken care of by you. Now, or it is the case that the habit of reading letter by letter has led to an inability to comprehend meaningful what she reads. Generally, in classrooms we have seen that most of the reading sessions are letter by letter reading. The teacher reads one letter, children speak after her. This does not create meaning. Language learning is meaning making. If it is making meaning, then language learning is taking place. So, that means if the pedagogical process earlier was not correct, then therefore, the child is finding it difficult to comprehend the complete sentence or the complete word. Therefore, you have to change your teaching learning process. All this is very important information to help us understand our children, and accordingly we plan our pedagogical processes. So, assessment and teaching learning, assessment and designing the activities, they go simultaneously. Now, we have just talked about the assessment of a child's ability to read and his or her understanding of language. We have understood it, but at the same time we need to record this data very carefully. We cannot simply say the child cannot read, the child cannot recognize the letter of the word. So, therefore, recording for whom? Recording for my reference as a teacher, recording if parents come, you have recorded that I have assessed the child is not able to recognize the letters. Now, we are working on that. Once that process is done, then we will move on to the reading with meaning. So, therefore, it is a process. So, recording is for your reference. During assessment, we should write a descriptive comment for each child. Now, descriptive comments are also known as anecdotal records. So, when you are assessing the children, because all the children are not learning at the same level and all the children do not have the same gaps, their learning situations may be different. So, therefore, for every child you have to write descriptive record that this child can read, this child can read on her own and comprehend, this child requires more practice. Maybe first I will begin with 2 sentences, then show her the pictures, then help her comprehend the message that is given in these 2 lines or the meaning given in these 2 lines, and then move on to the next step. So, therefore, descriptive comments for each child will really help you improve that child's learning and create learning situations. It is not necessary that these comments be detailed, but the basis of each comment must be clear. Now, here when we say that recording is very important, that does not mean that you have to write detailed description. Only comments are enough, they will help you. Then after a week or so, once you have helped the child, you will write another comment. Now she can read a paragraph on her own. Now that shows the progress. So therefore, that shows that child is learning. Each comment should be elaborated by a description of what was seen during the observation. So therefore, no randomization. So clear observation, clear gap, and the process needs to be mentioned. For example, the following comment about a child newly entering class 1 is extremely limited and incomplete if it is written like this: Jaya shows interest in books. Now what does that mean? Shows interest in books. I have kept 2 books in front of her, she flips through them, but does this reflect about her learning? No, this does not. The basis of this comment must be presented. Shows interest in books, that means she opens, she looks at the pictures, she describes the pictures in her words, in her own language, and then when the teacher says the same thing in English, she tries to tell the same thing using those English sentences. That is interest. The basis of this comment must be presented. It can be written in the following way. Let us have a look at that. Jaya shows interest in books. She looks through the books in the reading corner for a long interval, and then she picked up a book and kept looking at each picture turn by turn for long periods. This was a book on animals, and maybe you can add, then she started talking about animals. Maybe there is a cow, there is a cat, there is a dog. So she can say, I have a pet dog, I have a dog at my house, I have a cow. So like that. So therefore, she is taking out meaning from the pictures. So she is reading. So this is the process, it has begun. This assessment shows the behavior of the child and describes something that actually happened. It is not a mere opinion. When you have 7-8 comments of this kind about a child over a period of 2 to 4 months, then you can understand the development of her language ability in some detail. So like this, when you maintain the record, the learning level of each child, that will show over a period of 2 to 4 months the learning growth of the child. Comments should be such that they clarify what the child has learned in the process of teaching and learning, and it should not be one-time assessment. It will show us the way forward, keeping in mind the reality of the situation. For example, we have learned the difficulties in learning to read, and we will have to find solutions for it. Okay. To make a child learn to read, we will have to prepare activities and exercises or other methods to help her learn. In assessment, we must compare the performance of a child only with her own previous performance, and no comparison with the performance or progress of any other child is useful. You see, child's record is important. Her performance should be compared with the previous performance. We should not compare 2 children. That she can read, she cannot read. How does it help? It does not help the child who cannot read. I have to design activities, I have to motivate the child, I have to help the child be able to read. So comparing 2 children is not useful. Each child has a different pace of learning, and her time to learn may be different from others, right? Please remember this. And assessment will vary because all children are learning. Therefore, maintaining the record is important. We know, for example, that some children learn to read, understand and speak easily, but only learn difficult concepts much later. So, I have given you a situation here. Some children will learn to read very fast, but difficult concept they will capture or they will gather at a slower pace or much later. So, every child learns in his own way. It is very important that we recognize the need to encourage all children, not only teach those who learn quickly, but also we should be able to help every child. Assessment is not a one short job, it is not a one time process or even something carried out every 3 months or so, it is a lifelong process. So, therefore, assessment as learning is very important when the learner becomes assessor of her own learning. Okay, yesterday I was able to read only this much, today with the help of the picture, with the help of the teacher, I can read these 2 lines also. So, this kind of motivation should be inculcated among students. Now, once again I have come to assessment for learning, assessment of learning and assessment as learning. Now, let us revise what do they mean. Assessment for learning reflects a view of learning in which assessment helps students learn better rather than just achieve better marks. So, for learning, it is for learning, to help learners learn. It is not marks oriented, it is learning oriented. Involves formal and informal assessment activities as part of learning and to inform the planning of future learning. So, it helps the teacher to plan her future lesson. Okay? This much my children have learned. Now, they can write sentences. Tomorrow, I will teach them how to write a paragraph, because when we write a paragraph, there should be coherence. We use connectors like and, but, etc. Okay? Next, provides effective feedback that motivates the learner and can lead to improvement. So, you are at the same time giving a very relevant feedback to the students, reflects a belief that all students can learn and improve. It is not that these students can learn and these cannot learn, all can learn. So, it gives a belief that all students can learn, their pace might be different, encourages self-assessment, peer assessment as part of the regular classroom routine. So, your self-assessment, peer assessment is inbuilt in this. We can put 2 children together, we can help them. Okay, you help each other, write a paragraph on a tree and then assess each other. What have you missed out? What more can you add? Now, in assessment for learning involves teachers, students, parents reflecting on evidence, is inclusive of all learners, includes clear goals of learning. Now, assessment of learning is used for future learning goals, pathways for students, provide evidence of achievement of a wider community including parents, educators. The students themselves become involved in their own learning process. Assessment as learning encourages students to take responsibility for their own learning, requires students to ask questions, involves teachers and students creating learning goals to encourage growth and development. So, learners become interested. Okay, ma'am, yesterday I was able to write on cow, today can I write on my pet dog? Let her explain. So, they are trying to improve on their own. Then, assessment as learning provides ways for students to use formal and informal feedback, self-assessment to help them understand next step of learning, encourages peer assessment, self-assessment and reflection. Students start reflecting on their learning process on their own. Okay? Now, assessment for better learning can take various forms such as self-assessment, where they are involved in their own learning, which enables students to monitor their own progress against specific objectives and evidence from their own work, peer assessment, which helps to improve learning and to develop social and cooperative skills, teachers assessment, in which progress and strengths are recognized, difficulties are diagnosed and strategies are planned to overcome them. Now, assessment which promotes learning is embedded, that teaching, learning and assessment go hand in hand, sharing learning goals with pupils, aims to help pupils to know and to recognize that students what they are aiming for, involves pupils in self-assessment, provides feedback, is underpinned by confidence that every student can improve, involves both the teacher and the pupils reviewing and reflecting on assessment data. Thank you. We have come to the end of this session. Thank you for listening.